So, if you guys are familiar with children's books, especially those of you who have raised children, there's a book called Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss, right? Horton Hears a Who. I think it is, isn't it? Is that the right title?
Yeah.
Is it the one with the little...
Isn't there a movie?
Yeah. Okay, it's it. So, all of a sudden I'm like, what if that's not the right title? But Horton Hears a Who. And it's made into a movie, but the book is really, it's very interesting. But the whole point of that book is that he finds, Horton the elephant, finds this little dandelion kind of poppy seed, you know, like those little ball, a poppy seed of dandelion floating in the air. And somebody wants to destroy it. But then Horton says, wait, I hear a little sound. And then he starts to think, what if there's someone living in that little poppy seed? What if there's actually someone that's alive in there? Well, to make a long story short, it turns out there's a whole town in there. And people will say it's just a little floating thing of cotton kind of poppy seed thing, just destroy it. But Horton's like, no, there's people in there. I have to save this thing. I mean, how silly he must look. But he's like, no, I have to save this thing. And the whole point is there is a whole town in there. And then Horton, all these other animals that's living in his little town or his little village that he has is trying to destroy it and trying to kill it. Whoa, we got to get that and we got to take it away and we got to destroy that thing. But Horton says, you know, he realizes when he takes it up to this high point, he can save it. So the whole story is him taking it up there, and then the second story is all the people that's living in this little poppy seed. When I saw that, what that reminded me was last week's sermon. How we think we're living on this huge planet, and it's just ginormous, but actually, if you look at it in retrospect of the whole universe, we're just a very, 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 very small little dot in the universe. But there's billions of people living on this small little dot. And last week, one of the points of the whole sermon was for you to understand how big God is and how small we are. But even though God is so big and we are so small, He knows every single one of us. Not does He just know you by name, He knows how many strands of hair is on your head. Okay, we women know. When we clean the house, when we vacuum the house, what's on that floor? Tons of hair. You know, one of the most fun things I used to do when I was younger, well, when I was 30, was I used to lay on the carpet and look at the carpet really close and you see all the hair. And I used to love doing that so I could see where all the hair is and then I gather. And you know, it's like from the naked eye, if you look like this, you don't see that much. But if you look right on the carpet like this, you see the piles and lumps of hair everywhere. And so I thought that was so 재밌어 to pick the hair. Tons of hair on the carpet. Hair that we don't, hair is falling out all the time. Right now you're seeing hair is falling out. But God knows every single strand that's falling out. He knows exactly how many strands are on our head. How detailed is that? Amen? Amen? Think about it. One time I asked my Sunday school class to count the strands of hair. Do you guys remember? I made them count. They only counted about this much of hair. And they were like, oh, that's too much. It was not easy. There's a ton in just this much of hair. And it's amazing that God knows that. Amen? So today what I want to talk, so last week, I wanted you to see exactly who God was. And even though this God, not man, but this God that has created this massive universe and galaxy and you know, star system out there, knows exactly who you are. Amen? Then, today I want you to see who you are. Who you are in God. How valuable you are. Even though we're this very, 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 very small dot, I want you to understand the value of who you are today. In order to do that, we're going to look at Matthew chapter 4. And what I want you to see in Matthew chapter 4 is the famous temptation of Jesus Christ. And as we look at this temptation, I want you to realize how people in this world tries to put value in who you are. Okay? How people in this world tries to put value in who you are. And then we're going to look at exactly what our value really is. Amen? Just like Jesus came to this world as a man, he was also tempted in every way that we are tempted. And let me tell you, Satan tried his best to define Jesus the way he wanted to define him. He wanted to give Jesus the value he wanted to give him. But the thing about Jesus was he knew who he was. And he did not fall into the labeling that Satan was trying to do for him. Now, parents, listen carefully, because this is how your children will continually be labeled throughout their life. And you have to teach them that this is not who they are. Do not be labeled in this way, but your value is in Jesus Christ and the value that he gives you. And the value that he gives you when he went on the cross. Amen? Amen. This actually, from this message, is what psychologists actually says. This is how people are valued and labeled. So that's what Satan was trying to do with Jesus. How the world values you and labels you. Okay, so let's look at this. Chapter 4, verse 1. Christine, can you read it for me? Actually, there's my glasses right there. Read the first verse. First second.
Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward in hunger.
Keep going.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. And he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Okay, the first way this world tries to put value on us and write it down, number one way that he does is say, what can you do? Do something. What can you do? Are you an athlete? Are you an artist? Are you smart? What can you do? If you have many talents and there's many things you can do, then you have value. But if you're not very smart and you're not very talented and you're not very athletic and you're not very good at anything, then you have no value.